Hey everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host, and I'm so glad to be here. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. We've had so much great radio already today, and I hope the sun's shining where you're at, and it's a beautiful day. I hope if it isn't, that you can make lemons out of lemonade, I guess, huh? I want you to know that we're over in the chat room. Oh, I also want you to know that we're live. I should probably add that first. We are live. It is the 30th of April, almost done, at noon Pacific. And so that's what's happening. So I would like to welcome you all. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I'd like to welcome you also. Now, I want to let you know that we're in the chat room. You can find it by heading over to 12 Radio. That's number2radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat room. So that's how to find us. If you have never joined before, you will want to ask to join, and Scott will gladly let you in the door and come play with us. You'll notice my banner at the top of the page. That's where people are chatting and asking questions, making comments. That's the best place to put it. I am also recording this event live through Facebook Live in the chat room. So if you're there, I would love to see you also. But I do want you to know that if you're making comments in the live stream, I may or may not see them or get to them. For some reason, they don't even all show up until after the show. So if you have something to say it under my banner. And you'll want to, because it is the first, well, it isn't. It's actually the last of the month, but I decided to go ahead and jump the gun. We're almost there. So usually the first show of the month is our animal communication show, and that's what today is all about. So a few things. First of all, share your babies with us. Come over to the chat room and share a picture or two. We would love to see your kiddos. You can put your human kiddos in here too if you really need to, but it's all about fur babies today. So go ahead and share your pictures if you would like to. I'd love to see them. And if you have any need for animal communication today or any questions about animal communication, throw them up in the chat room. They will get precedence over anything else. You never know if something else comes up that we have to get to. We might, but that's what we're doing today is animal communication. So there you go. There was a fair amount of animal communication happening right before the show because the pigs couldn't decide if they wanted to go outside or inside. So figure that one out. Couldn't go outside or inside. They, because my office actually is the door to my office is the door to the back patio. And so they came in, they went out, they came in. I finally decided for them that they really were going out because they're not allowed to run around in my office during a show because it's just too distracting. And if you guys have heard them, they're noisy. They never quit. Every step they take is an oink or a honk or a whistle. So anyway, we had a little negotiation going on. So they're currently in the backyard. I have a window that outlooks the backyard right here from my desk. And so I'm watching them out there, rooting around, having fun, chasing each other, doing piggy stuff. So that's what's up. At any rate, that's how, so I guess that's how things are at my house this morning. We're actually so cold. We've taken another little cold turn. I had to drag all of my plants in the house. So I'm going to tell you a regrettable story. You may or may not want to hear this, but so yeah, we were freezing. So I had planted 2 big clematis in big planters and some other, flowers on my step, cold weather stuff, but that's not going to stand up to 25 degrees. So everything got drug in the house on Sunday night. Well, I hadn't had somebody stronger than me pick the clematis up and put them up high. And before I got that done, one of the pigs ate one of the clematis, like sheared it off, done, gone. And so rude, first of all, but I didn't know which pig did it, but it worried me a little bit because I don't know if clematis is poisonous. So I looked it up and yeah, it is. It's poisonous. Not like kill you poisonous, but upset your tummy kind of poisonous. So anyway, the pigs have eaten a lot of things that pigs shouldn't eat. You might remember that Fiona won the Tide Pod Challenge last summer. So I wasn't crazy worried, but made sure they had plenty of water before we went to bed. So about 5 o'clock in the morning, I could hear retching in the living room. And I woke Scott up and said, do you hear that? And he was like, oh no. So we headed out to the living room and Zig was, puking on the couch. Of course it was. So yay, happy Monday. So now we know who ate the clematis. That was the only incident. So he's fine and all, but so someone has to go buy a new clematis and make Zig pay for it, right? It's my own fault. I should have known better. But anyway, all's well that ends well. The couch had to have a good cleaning, but I'd rather that than my poor little Zig be sick. But I guess it's all a day in a day's, how do you say that? I'm going to say it wrong. All in the days, a day in the life of a piglet mama. There you go. A day in the life of a piglet mama. Okay. Anyway, so that's my animal communication story this week. I communicated with Zig that he shouldn't have eaten my clematis. He communicated with me by throwing it up on the couch. So awful. Okay, well, anyway, I know that all of you mamas of any kind of four-leggeds have dealt with plenty of puke and poop, so I don't think you're too offended. Anyway, just checking out. Okay, seeing a lot of stuff coming up in the chat room I will definitely address. So let's go ahead and talk about some of our regular stuff. First of all, I hope that you guys are having a good week. Energetic weirdness. Is that fair to say? It's just been energetic weirdness for days and days and days. And I think that this week is finally starting to level out a little bit. But last week we were all over the map. Just really fast energy days, really slow energy days, really chaotic days. A lot of, just chaotic anger, people just not feeling quite right. People, if you noticed, you probably visited with a fair amount of people who acted quite fake when you talked to them, and you probably wondered why, because you empaths, when someone's BSing you, right? And so it's definitely a time that you know what's going on, and you at least know that something's going on, and you're talking to people that are giving you a little different vibe than what you're feeling from them. That was pretty much all of last week. And I think it's just because people weren't quite sure what was going on with them, or it was some pretty deep stuff that they didn't really want to have at the surface. But if you felt last week like the world was deceiving you, it probably was. That was just a real theme last week. It was uncomfortable for a lot of people, a lot of empaths who felt like people were being fake or weren't being real with them. And I do feel like that may be better this week, but it is a weird feeling. And I know you guys, you empaths, and most of you know that feeling of going, that smile that's plastered on your face isn't indicative of what I'm feeling from you. And yet not everybody wants to be that authentic, right? Not everybody wants to tell you what's going on, and they don't really have to, right? It's just kind of, everybody has the right to be a little more private if they choose to, but you guys know, when you know, it's just it's a weird sensation. So anyway, I do think that is better this week. The Domestic Mystic Daily Dish message yesterday actually was interesting, because it was about not needing to be liked by everybody and not needing to be everybody's friend, which I thought was kind of interesting. A good reminder to all of us that, you don't have to be always liked. You don't have to be accepted, and not everybody has to share your point of view. And if you have to stand up for yourself or for somebody that you care about and rock the boat a little bit, well, maybe you will. And maybe somebody won't like you for that. But you know what? To hell with them. You have to be able to be authentic to you too. But I think sometimes we all need that reminder that you don't always have to worry so much about what everybody else is thinking about you or about what you're up to. Today, the Daily Dish was more about honoring your heart and doing what your heart wants instead of doing what your head wants, which is, I think it's a lesson that we all have to learn from time to time. There's a comic on Facebook and Instagram called The Awkward Yeti. and he's so good. But a lot of his comics are battles between the heart and the brain. And so when that message came across, I kind of smiled, thinking about, it's kind of like his work that, hi Michelle, it's kind of like his work in that, you know, we are always in that battle. So today the message was, let the heart win. Do what your heart wants to do. And if that means nurture yourself, if that means, you know, watch the sappy movie, if that means eat the ice cream, if that means, you know, listen to sad music or happy music, do it. If that means not going somewhere or going somewhere, do it. But whatever your heart is prompting you to do today, do it if you can, you know, if you can. Maybe you can't blow off work and go to the beach, but maybe you could go later, or maybe you could take a partial day. You tell me, right? But today it was all about honoring your heart. So I think sometimes that's a good message for all of us as well. So there's big excitement happening at my house because my senior is about to graduate. So her announcements came yesterday. I put one in the chat room just for the hell of it so you guys could see them. But I thought they turned out pretty cute. But Miss Matea is graduating from high school here in May. And wow, how can I have 2 kids graduated from high school, you guys? It just doesn't seem right. It's what it is though, right? So if you've ever had a senior, you know that last month is like, it's chaos because they have so many things to do, you know, besides finishing up school and getting done with the last of their senior projects and senior papers and the big doings. She's presenting her senior project tomorrow. So I'm grateful for her, and frankly for me too, that that's almost over, because it's been very stressful. I have edited about 1 million papers for her to get this project ready because there's 6 kids in her group, and I'm the editing mom apparently. So it's been a lot of work for everybody, but I'm glad. They're presenting a proposal to the city council to do some much needed work on one of our local parks and campgrounds, with an additional proposal about how to fund it. So I thought they did a fantastic job. So anyway, that's pretty exciting stuff. So that's right, what's going on in my world, besides softball districts are next week. And, you know, we're going to state. We're going to hold that energy high. We are going to state this year. It's how it is. So we just are. We're not going to see. We just know, right? Damn right. I noticed the coolest manifesting on my daughter Mars's part that I thought was just it's so cute, because, not cute. No, I'm not going to use that word. It's so brilliant, because manifesting is so born into her, you know, because that's talked about so much at our house. So last week at one of her games, and this was a super tough team, a team that absolutely blew them up the first time we played them, and will likely go first in our district, and frankly have for like the last 20 years. They're a super good team. But you know what? We're a super good team too. And we were battling them. We battled them really hard last week. We lost both games, but one of them we lost by 2 points and the other we lost by 3 points. Yeah, that was amazing to battle them that hard. But I noticed something pretty interesting. So in one inning, she was the last out. And then we went and, you know, fielded, and then we came back to bat again. And I noticed that she immediately put her helmet on and grabbed her bat and was standing at the, you know, where the batters stand to get ready to go out and bat. And I thought, what the heck's she doing? Does she not realize that she's got 8 batters to go before she's up again? No. And then I had this thought. I thought, is this, what's she thinking about? And I had that thought, maybe is she manifesting this? Maybe she is. Well, I just kept an eye on her, and a few minutes later I heard her say to a teammate who said, Mars, you don't bat for a while. And she said, I know, get your helmet on. And she said, why? I don't bat for a while. And she said, I don't care. Every one of you, get your helmets on and get your bats. And the one girl said, why? And she said, because I'm not going to stand here and wait and act like I might not get up to bat. I'm going to stand here and act like I am getting up to bat. And every one of them put on their helmets and grabbed their bats and stood there all lined up, ready for their turn, as if in this inning, of course they're going out to bat. And you know what? They did. In that inning, they rallied a whole bunch of points. and nearly won that game because of it. But I thought that was the coolest thing. So anyway, sometimes it's really fun to watch for the brilliance in our kids and the interesting kinds of manifesting. So I noticed this week she did the same thing. Helmet on, ready to go every inning. And you know what? We batted through our order in every inning. So something she's doing is paying off over there. Pretty fun, huh? Anyway, so that's what's all going on in my world. It's wild. So let's take a look at the magazine. So of course this is the domestic, or no, it's not. Wow, I have too many things going on in my head. This is Luminous Magazine, of course, the magazine that I put out every single week with contributions from a bunch of my absolutely brilliant colleagues over here at One to Listen. And there is a brand new contributor this week. And I happen to know that there's also a brand new contributor next week. So I'm so excited. I love it when we pick up somebody new that wants to come and play and do what we're doing. So if you want to look at Luminous, just head over to katie-weaver.com and click on the Katie's Magazine button, and that will bring up the cover. Just click on it and it will open Luminous for you. Now you may have had it emailed to you last night when it published, and you can do that right there on the homepage of my website. If you scroll down right below the video, you can subscribe to the Daily Dish, which is a daily email, that daily reading, and I will also send you Luminous when it publishes every week. And I would love to send that to you. So today, of course, we have a brand new columnist, and it is Jenny. Jenny from over at One to Listen. She's a fairly new advisor at One to Listen. Jenny, I don't know how to say her whole name. I'm going to try it. I believe it's Ziegler Johnson. Jenny Ziegler Johnson. She is wonderful, and she's bringing us a brand new column called Heart Awakenings. So it's in this edition, so you can watch for it. I called this magazine the Bloom Where You're Planted edition because I think sometimes we yearn for change. We have that feeling of, you know, when I move, I will be happy. When I get that job, I'll be happy. When I lose that weight, I'll be happy, blah, 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 right? And sometimes we get a little too caught up in, and it is kind of in the manifesting arm, which is fine, but that doesn't mean you can't be happy now. In fact, that doesn't mean you don't have a responsibility to continue to work your life in ways that you can be happy. I'm not saying you have to fake it till you make it, but sometimes I think that does pay off. More than that, I'm saying continue to arrange your life in a way that you can be happy now, that you can choose that you can find that. And if there's things in your world that are making you miserable, yes, let's work on them. Yes, let's make some changes. But that doesn't mean life has to suck right now. It doesn't. And sometimes you'll have things in your life that really suck and other things that are great, and it's okay to celebrate the great things. I feel like society likes to make us unhappy or make us believe that we have to be unhappy. We're never good enough. We always have to be striving for something. Oh, Jenny, you're the best. She said, okay, her maiden name is produced Zeugner. Zeugner. Thank you, Jenny. You rock. So Jenny Zeugner Johnson. There we go. All right. The article from me this week, my memoir, was talking about spiders. I'm going to talk about spiders today in animal communication. I want to talk about the creepy crawlies and communicating with wild animals. So I'm not going to read you this article, but I hope that you have a chance to read it at some point and think about how you feel about spiders and other creepy crawlies and how your energy does or doesn't intertwine with them. So we'll talk about it more. Am I making you uncomfortable yet? Maybe. Hello, Shauna. I'm so happy to have you here. Okay, crystal guidance this week is from Christy, of course, and it is aquamarine. I don't have a piece to show you because I'm not that fancy. I really should get some. Aquamarine balances the throat chakra. It opens the door for clear, honest communication and encourages diplomacy. So if communication, if honesty, if just being able to express yourself clearly are things that are coming up as challenges for you, really consider getting an aqua. You can buy one that you could wear or keep in your pocket or in your bra. You know, again, holding on, or heat and pressure are the things that activate the properties of your crystals. So holding on to them, you know, wearing them close to your heart, heat and pressure. That's the way we do it. Okay, Christy pulled a card from her Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck for us this week, and the card is Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel's message is messages, communication, listening, speaking the truth, honesty, clear speech, throat chakra. The challenge is being dishonest, holding back, or not listening. The crystal is aquamarine. The meditation is, Dear Archangel Gabriel, please open my ears so that I may hear the messages, my throat that I may speak, and my mind that I may understand. I really loved that card. And I think it's interesting because last week, the Ascended Master that Anita brought us was Gabriel or Gabrielle. Some people see that angel as female. Anyway, so there seems to be a big need for assistance in communication right now. All right, Kai's Kaleidoscope this week is her animal monthly guidance, and this week she brings us the butterfly. I absolutely loved her article. You probably already know this if you know me at all, that I'm a fanatic about butterflies. And I loved her article so much. Thank you, Kai. I love that Kai always will make you think, but she will educate you, and she will bring you an article that maybe makes you think about some things in your own life a little differently. So I loved it, Kai, and I love the butterfly message. The tip of the week is 3 quick ways to shift your energy. Do you ever just have that moment, right? When you're so grouchy you can't stand yourself? When you're so tired and you've got so much still to do? When you just need to shift out of the place you are in? Shaken up? Do you ever... I noticed a friend on Facebook last night say something about, why the hell did I read all of these upsetting articles right before bed? What was I thinking? And I thought, ooh, I'm a culprit of that too. And I think we all can be at some point, or watch something upsetting, or, you know, have an upsetting conversation, or it doesn't even have to be upsetting, right? Just something that kind of rocks you in some way. How do you shift your energy? How do you come back to center quickly? Sometimes you need that quickness. Maybe you have work to do. Maybe you need to feel better fast, whatever. I kind of like that as an empath. I don't like being uncomfortable. Actually, I super duper hate being uncomfortable. And so I want to shift out of something that doesn't make me feel good. So a few thoughts. One is to run your hands under cold water for 60 seconds. Shocking your system, of course, gives you an opportunity to reset. That's a grounding technique, but it also gives you an opportunity to reset your attitude and your energy body. Turn the radio up. Music is a powerful tool for changing your vibe. I can't ever talk about that one enough, right? Turning up the radio, changing your vibe with music is so quick. It's so powerful. Sometimes for the best, and sometimes maybe not, right? Sometimes sometimes music can take you to a different place. So be mindful of what you're listening to. Take a walk around the block. A bit of movement is a great way to release some tension and start over. That also could be seen as a moving meditation, just to help you get out of your head, clear your head, and start over. So, and I would be curious to know if you guys have some techniques that you love to reset yourself quickly. I would love to see them in the chat. Okay, Dr. Elisa says, you have no reason to be ashamed. Leave the past behind and move forward. I really loved this article. It made me think a lot about things that from my past that I'm probably still carrying. Things from high school maybe, or before, right? Things that you just don't feel good about that, you know, if you can rectify something, great. But if you can't, at some point, you've got to let yourself move forward. So I really loved what she had to say. I also wanted to just add to that sometimes it's about resetting the people around you. Because I know that some people really struggle to let people around them change, really struggle to let people around them grow. And if you have people around you who keep holding you in the place that you used to be, keep reminding you of past failures or past incidences or past humiliations, maybe they're not your people anymore. Maybe you need to look for people who actually will celebrate who you are now and let you be who you are now. Just a thought, but I loved it. It made me think a lot. So thank you, Elisa. Speaking of Dr. Elisa, by the way, tomorrow on Angel with an Edge, Christy is guest hosting, and Elisa and I are joining her. So that will be at, I believe at 11 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, 11 a.m. Pacific. We are going to do a writer's panel. So talking about writing books and writing in general and sharing some ideas with you guys. It's a panel, so lots of opportunities to ask questions. So if you've been thinking about writing a book, or you're working on one and you're stuck and you need a little kick in the fanny, come see us. We're going to talk all about it. And that's tomorrow. So again, that'll be Christy, Dr. Elisa, and I on Angel with an Edge. We're taking over for Elizabeth. We're going to just run wild with her show. With her permission, of course. All right, Elizabeth brings us her weekly cosmic strip. It is a busy, blooming beauty this week. I loved it. It is, of course, Angel Beth and, of course, Octavia. The incredible octopus is with her. She's blooming all of this light, all of these flowers from her chakras. I thought it was really beautiful. Thank you, Elizabeth. Alrighty, the Magic Monday message from Melissa Caprio. Sit a spell and gather your thoughts. Do you ever just need a moment to sit? To just sit and be quiet and have quiet around you. I can remember my grandparents doing this. My grandma would sit and close her eyes. And you'd always be like, Grandma, are you asleep? And she'd say, no, I'm resting my eyes. I didn't understand that until I got a little older. Now I do plenty of that. And it is just a little reset, isn't it? All right, Chris Ann Morgan brings us this intuitive life. Just talking about how to get a solid plan going to bring balance into your world. If you've been feeling like you're out of control, this is a good article to help you gain a bit of more control, gain a bit more balance in your world. And then Taya's Soundscapes. Taya brings us a really great article on the art of sound divination. This is a part of what she offers over at When to Listen, and it's so interesting and beautiful, the work that she does. So I love that she wrote an article kind of explaining it, because this is something that's fairly new to a lot of us here in the Listen world. So read that, think about it. It's very interesting. Okay, and then of course our new stuff from Jenny, and she is bringing us her article, Listening from the Heart. And Jenny, I really loved what you had to say in your article about listening and being willing to reevaluate your own listening skills, and always challenging us, I think, to be better listeners. So great article. Appreciated it very much. And then lastly, Anita and the Masters. Anita brings us Archangel Ariel. Archangel Ariel is known for her protection of animals. Well, isn't that interesting, since it's Animal Week? Thank you so much, Anita. She says she is strong in her conviction and faithful to her cause always. You know, I have worked with Archangel Ariel extensively in various work with animals, but also with children. I've used Archangel Ariel in the capacity of working with kids many times. Children who've crossed over and children who are, you know, in spirit, or let's say that differently. Children that are in spirit and children that are in the physical, both. I have found her to be a very comforting angel for work such as that. Alrighty, well, that is it for Luminous. I hope that you found some things in there that resonated with your soul. Also, wanted to point out, we have 3 new shows debuting this week. Our first one was Take 2 on Monday. Of course, that is with Sydney Sable and Julie. So really, Julie Randazzo. So exciting. They had a fun first show yesterday. Tomorrow morning in the 7 a.m. time slot, Taya is bringing us her brand new show. So I'm excited because you guys are going to adore her. And then on Thursday afternoons at 4 p.m., Grace is coming back. So that too, you guys already know and love Grace, and she's been on the radio before. So I'm excited to see her coming back to radio too. So lots of fun stuff in the radio world. Just an FYI. Alrighty, let's do our reading for the week. So this is, of course, all about spiritual self-care. This is from my deck, the Ground, Bless, Protect, and Move deck. You can find it over on my website at katie-weaver.com. So I want to go ahead and bring that to you. So the first card is the Ground card, and it's the forest. So grounding with trees. Now you may not get yourself into the forest this week, but perhaps you could get into a park. Perhaps you have some trees in your yard. Go find yourself amongst trees. Trees have such an interesting, especially a forest of trees or a grouping of trees, they have such an interesting network of support in their root systems, and that's a really powerful way for you to ground. So go stand or sit amongst those trees, take a few deep breaths, and just allow your root to slip into the earth and intermingle with the roots of the trees. Really powerful and easy way to ground. Okay, the bless card this week is the heart chakra. So how do we bless the heart and why? Well, I mean, sometimes it's the big things, right? Sometimes it's grief, sometimes it's loss, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just need a little extra help in your heart for various reasons. All of you empaths, you know, we feel things pretty deeply. Our hearts are typically kind of tempted to be wounded over something. And so sometimes blessing, balancing the heart is the best thing we can do. So let's do some balancing first, and then we'll do a blessing. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. So I brought a singing bowl. This is just a little Tibetan bowl. It is in the note of F, which is the heart chakra. So I'm going to play it a few times. I'm just going to ask you to sit with it and allow the vibration of the singing bowl to clear your heart of any energy you're carrying that no longer serves you. Simple enough. So let's do that now. Okay, perfect. All right, so just a gentle clearing, right? And then we want to do a blessing. So how do you bless your heart chakra? Put your hands in your heart and then speak whatever it is that your heart needs to be in balance. So perhaps you would like to release something. Perhaps you would like to grow self-love. Perhaps you would like to protect your heart from the harshness of the world. You decide what that is. You know best. So bless your heart first. And then I always like to anoint chakra blessings with an essential oil. My favorite oil for the heart chakra is rosewood. Rose oil is great. Jasmine is great. If you have something else that you prefer for your heart, use that. There's no wrong answer. But bless the heart this week. All right. The protect card is the white light shower. I love this one. This is such an easy way to protect your energy body. You're using white light or blue light or green light or whatever comes out of your cosmic shower head. But just sit or stand for a moment. Breathe with me here and just envision a cosmic shower head just pouring white light from the universe or whatever light comes over your head. Just letting that continue to shower over you until your aura is just completely immersed in it. Just creating a barrier of protection so that you, within your little space here, can maintain your frequency without the world yanking you around, as happens. Okay. The move card is hike. Okay, so maybe you're not going to strap on a big old backpack and go on an overnighter, right? But perhaps you could walk around the park or take a small hike on a little walking trail that you like. Perhaps you could just wander around your yard, but get outside this week, do a little walking. Really, really important for spiritual self-care to move your body. All right, and then the boost card is just right, which I was happy to see considering the authors panel we're doing tomorrow. That's right, it's time to write. Journal, blog, or notebook. You can't make the wrong choice when you are spilling your guts. Use this as an opportunity to release anything you need to release. Have you ever used writing to release frustration, to release pain, to release whatever? It's a really powerful way to release things that you're carrying that you would like to be rid of. So that is the Ground, Bless, Protect, and Move reading for the week. All right, I'm going to get back to the chat room here. Okay, seeing lots of animal questions coming up, so let's get there. Renee said, "Happy Tuesday. All of my fur babies are doing well. They had a fright last week when my sister and her 4 dogs were here visiting. They stayed downstairs the whole time, 3 days and 2 nights. Oh my goodness, they must have felt like they were totally taken over, Renee. Poor kids." Kate posted a picture of her adorable little Frenchie named Sperry. Oh, good Lord, she's so cute. So cute. I will have a Frenchie at some point, I think. That is a dog I would love to have. Adorable. Okay, Nora said, "My dogs are changing the alpha position. They are confusing me and I don't know what to do." Nora, I'm assuming that you mean with each other. Is that what we're talking about? I think I'm going to watch for your answer before I dive into that, because I have some thoughts, but I want to make sure that we're going down the right path. So if you want to throw an answer there for me, I would love to take a look at that. Marlene said, "Hoping you could check in with our kitty Nala. She is 11, and since the hurricane in the fall, when she gets upset about something, she pees on my bed." Okay. I've taken her to the vet and they can't find anything wrong. Good call. Thank you. "Can you talk to her? I'm keeping my bedroom door closed now, but I'm always worried about her pottying where she shouldn't." Oh, yeah. Okay. Of course, Marlene. Yeah, and as we know, what do cats do if they want to get our attention? They pee or they puke. Usually, they poop too, but puking is a big one, but peeing. Ugh. All right, let's tune into Nala. Yeah, her nerves are just shot. Oh, this poor kitty. Okay, so I'm going to visit with her. Yeah, that's what I thought. She said she wants you to know that she's still scared. She's scared about it happening again. That's what she's afraid about. That's what she's trying to tell you, Marlene. So I'm going to show her that whatever happens outside, that you will always take care of her. Now, I believe that you guys evacuated and you took her in a crate, correct? I'm quite sure that's how that happened. So I'm going to show her that whatever happens, you are always going to take care of her, just like you did in this instance. So I want to make sure that she understands. I told her that was to keep her safe and also to keep Leo safe, and she didn't care. She didn't care if it kept Leo safe. I thought that would make you laugh. Yeah, yes, okay. Leo is her bud, but his safety wasn't her concern. Cats are so sassy. Okay, Marlene. All right, so I am telling her that she absolutely has to use her litter box every single time, and that the consequence if she doesn't is all of the doors shut. So no access to the office, to the bedrooms, to any rooms, that all of the doors will be shut. And that if that didn't work, the last consequence would be that she would have to stay in the bathroom with the litter box. So, you know, I can be the bad guy and give them the consequence, even though, you know, you may not like to. That's worst case scenario, right? But it's my job to, you know, kind of dole something out so that they know how serious we are. So she really doesn't want that. She actually really treasures laying on your bed, but she's I told her you're not trusting her right now. I also showed her that when she pees on your bed, that is upsetting, that it makes your stomach hurt. It makes you sad. Yeah. Okay, but she just wanted you to know that she is still scared. Okay, so I did reassure her that, you know, well, we can't promise that there would never be another hurricane, that you would always take care of her and you would always take her where she needs to go and do whatever she needs. So I feel like there is some peace for that in her. And I do feel like she's getting the message that she's absolutely never to do that again and to always go in the box. I set something else up with her, Marlene, because I feel like we may need to check in with her in the future. I want her to have another way to communicate with you if she has got something that's bothering her, right? So what we talked about is in the future, if she has something that's bothering her that she needs to convey to you, that I would like for her to pace up and down the hall and meow. That will get your attention. You'll notice that she's doing that. And then we can check in and find out what it is she needs instead of doing that. So, but it's up to you now. If she's pacing and meowing and it seems out of place, let's talk, right? Okay. So let's check back in here in a month and see how that's going and make sure that we've got her under control, or sooner if you want to. All right, Jessica, can you tell Sammy that the flea comb is his friend and it will help him feel better and less itchy? All he wants to do is bite and play with it. He just wants to play, Jessica. But he's a Siamese too. He's gorgeous. And of course, he's got all kinds of attitude because he's a Siamese. So, yeah, let me tune into Sammy. He really wants to play. And so I'm going to have a conversation with him about... So I was asking him if we could have a play session with a toy. What I'm seeing is like one of those feathers on a stick or something like that. Whatever toys you have for him, Jessica, is fine. But I was asking him if we could have a play session before or after he gets combed out. And his response was before and after. I love that. He is always trying to keep things light for you. I know he can be very demanding and opinionated, kind of his nature, but he is always trying to lighten things up for you, which is really fun. So I'm promising him some play sessions before and after getting combed, and he's agreeing to take the comb, you know, allow you to comb him, not be quite so naughty about it. So let's see how we do with that. Okay. Christina said, you can't make everyone happy. You are not pizza. That's awesome. Or chocolate. Yeah. Amen. All righty. Kimberly says, Rio the Golden is in Oregon right now. Any messages? The little guy Buddy is with me in South Florida. Okay. Let's see. Let's peek into Rio first. So Rio is okay. I just feel like Rio needs to feel some reassurance from you, Kimberly. I'm going to draw some cords between your heart and Rio's to just, they're already there. I'm just going to strengthen them. So if you could envision them, it would look kind of like a silver telephone wire from your heart to Rio's. I really want you guys to be able to communicate a little through that cord. I just feel like Rio is missing you, or just needs some reassurance. It feels like reassurance more than anything. So just creating that cord between the two of you, or not even creating it really, just strengthening it. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is show Rio pictures through that cord, okay? So I know this is kind of it's a mind bender, but animals think in a series of pictures. And people do too. We kind of think in more of a series of consequences than animals do, but you can really focus on that like it's your telephone wire and send images through your wire to Rio, showing him what you're doing and also showing him what is going on in his world, when he may see you again, what's happening, just to bring some reassurance, and also for him to be able to feel you more. It feels like that really needs to happen. So, and we can work on that together if you have any questions about that. Okay, this is little Mica. Mica just got back from the vet from a well puppy 19-month checkup. All is good, she's perfect, but why is she waking up at 4 a.m. every morning? Is it her stomach or otherwise? It's not her stomach, Laura, it's boredom. She just wants you. She wants your attention. And by 4, she's done sleeping. She's ready to get up. So she wants you to be ready to get up. I'm going to tune in with her and ask her to give you a couple more hours here. I mean, she may very well want to go outside when she gets up because that's been her routine, but it isn't necessarily her stomach. She's just up. She's ready. So I'm showing her that getting you up that early makes you not feel very good. And so staying in bed a little bit longer is better for you and makes you feel good. She's in tune enough with your energy that I feel like she, you know, kitties don't always care if they're like hurting their owners or making their owners unhappy. But dogs do. They really care. And Mica has matured enough now that she really cares. So I'm just showing her, I feel like you wake up with a little headache, Laura, every morning. And so I'm showing her that when you have to get up too early, it makes your head hurt. And that doesn't feel good, so you need to stay in bed longer. So I'm asking her to do you a service here by staying in bed longer too. So she's promising she will do that. So if she doesn't, and she gets you up, let's remind her, hey, you promised, and you show her, you know, that this makes my head hurt. I need to go back to bed. And let's see if we can get her to give you a couple more hours in the mornings. I feel like she can, and that she will. Okay, Jennifer. Oh, beautiful Bella. Bella has an infection according to the vet. I agreed to treat her for it. My vet also mentioned depression. Bella is walking super slowly and is not interested in playing, which is unusual. She's 10-ish years old. We don't know for sure because she's a rescue. She's a flat-coated retriever. She's black. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. What's going on? It came to me to test for vitamin D. Actually, that was one of the things I was going to suggest as well. She is really flat. Let me tune into Bella. Oh, yeah. And I'm glad you're treating her for the infection, but have you considered that she might have some arthritis? When I feel her, I feel stiff in my hips. I feel stiffness in her back legs, her back knees particularly, and right up in her shoulders. So Jennifer, I would recommend some Reiki, some daily Reiki in all 3 of those spots, along with a little rub down. And, you know, if it was my dog, I would probably use a little bit of diluted frankincense to see if that would help. But I don't know if I agree with depression. Obviously, if that's what your vet's thinking, then I would never think to override your vet. But I feel like it's more that she just is, she's kind of turned a corner in her old ladiness. And it's bothering her. I would definitely test for vitamin D. I think that's really smart. Let's make sure she is getting adequate time outside every day, or at least some, you know, in the sunlight every day in the interim. And let's do that Reiki and see. And then, of course, stick close to the vet in the treatment of that infection too, and see if we can see her perk up. I will tell you this. She's happy. She is trusting you. She doesn't feel to me like she's afraid or she feels like she's not being cared for. And she's not in a lot of pain. She's just stiff. But she's not miserable. So you're doing a wonderful job with her. And I do really feel like she trusts you and is comfortable where in this place in her life. And even in slowing down. She's okay. Okay. Carol is sharing us with Brooklyn, her dog. Oh my gosh, she's adorable. Tomorrow is her 8th birthday and she's still a little shit. Carol, I love it. You know, we pretend that dogs will, you know, I always say, let them get a year, year and a half, 2 if they're a lab, to get through all the puppyhood, and then, you know, they settle down. And that's true for most dogs, but sometimes they are still a little shit. So she is adorable. How fun. She is clearly the light of your life. I love it. And the bane of your existence sometimes too. I can see that. Okay. Jessica said, oh, and this was about Sammy. She said, I'm cracking up. Yes, play before and after flea combing. That is Sammy. He is a play animal. I love it. He brings so much joy to my life. I know he does. He's wonderful, Jessica. I'm glad that you have him. He is a very bright spot in your world, I know. And you in his. Don't forget that, you know. Sometimes we forget we have plenty of things in our world, right? We have family, we have work, we have friends, we have neighbors, we have trips to the grocery store, we have whatever, right? But they have us. That's what they have. Sometimes we forget that, you know, we have to rise to the occasion and be there for them. Yep, always. Anyway. Okay, well, we have a couple of more minutes, and I think I got through everybody. So I want to talk to you guys about connecting to the energy of spiders. Have you ever done it? If you haven't, let's try, okay? Here's the thing. Don't kill spiders. They're amazing. There is a book called Magical Housekeeping by Tess Whitehurst. Love this book. Love Tess Whitehurst as well. But in her book, she says, don't ever kill a spider. If you find a spider in the house, simply catch it, take it outside, and ask it a question. That if you spare a spider's life, that you can ask it a question. Now, I thought that was the most interesting part of that book, and I've done that lots of times. Spiders have some pretty old soul wisdom. It's interesting. So first of all, how do you catch a spider? Well, I'm a big fan of the paper plate and cup method, you know, where you kind of knock it into a cup with a paper plate and then put the lid on it, take it outside and let it go. You can buy these very gentle little suckers, little vacuumy things that suck them up so you can go outside and let them go. That works too. I've stayed at B&Bs that have those. They're pretty neat. Catch your spiders. Take them outside. It's okay. The thing that kills me the most is when you see people killing spiders or other bugs that are already outside, you know, for no reason. Why? That's their house. Anyway, with your spiders, catch them and take them outside. And then as you watch them leave, watching them crawl away, just connect your heart to theirs. Just pull a thread from your consciousness, from your heart, and send it to theirs and make a connection. Feel that. Sit with it for a minute or two. Just breathe with it, right? And then you can say it out loud, or you can just ask it in your head. Ask it a question. Anything. A prophetic question? Maybe not, but ask a question and see what happens. It's pretty interesting. So see what you can do. And if I am really pushing your boundaries because spiders really wig you out, good. Let's work on it. Let's get over it. Spiders are a power animal for women. So if you're terrified of spiders, let's work on it. Because I don't want you to be afraid of your own power anymore. All right, guys, we have done what we do. We've definitely talked down to the end of the show. I want to thank you guys all so much for joining me. I want to let you know that you'll find me tomorrow over on Angel with an Edge with the authors panel. And then you'll find me on Thursday with the Psychic Sisters at 11 a.m. Pacific. So lots more great radio to come this whole week, of course. Now, also, I want to let you know you can find me over at 12 Listen for the rest of the day and evening if there's anything I can do for you. So thanks, guys, for being here. You've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show, where we're changing the way you're listening to the world.